Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your patience. It takes a while to get everybody in and seated. Students, great job. I'd like to welcome you to the private Albert E. Thomson Elementary School this morning. My name is Mr. Raymond, and I am the proud 8+ year principal here at Thomson. I want to start by doing some thank yous. So thank you to Mr. Bob Westcott from the Exchange Club for the donation of all the flags for our students this morning. Thank you to the members of Troop 87 for the Pledge of Allegiance outside today. I'd like to thank the North Andover High School Band for coming down this morning. Kids were really fascinated by you all when you were out there playing this morning, which was great for our kids to see. And I'd also like to thank, while she's not here today, I'd like to thank Maria Rogers, one of our art teachers, for all the veteran memorabilia that you see in the cases out in the hallway outside our gym this morning. So welcome to all of our invited guests. Welcome to our veterans, especially our veterans. Welcome to Thomson parents, our students, our staff this morning for our annual program. This program is a big honor for us to put out for all of you every year. We have a special affinity for veterans here at Thomson Elementary School. Many of our staff members have current or former military members of our branches, in our staff. Many of our students do. And of course, our school is named after Private Albert E. Thomson, who grew up just down the road, and he served in World War I 106 years ago, and he passed away 106 years ago, shy of his 17th birthday. And if you think about that, boys and girls, when students are 16 years old, they're excited to get their license. Private Albert E. Thomson was serving in France for the United States, where he passed away fighting for his country. Veterans, before we turn it over to our students, I would just like to express on behalf of our school our gratitude and our thanks for your service, both past and present. Myself as principal, my father served in the U.S. Air Force, and currently my daughter's new husband is in the U.S. Army. Sometimes your service takes you away from your family for long periods of time, and that's really, really hard. And the work that you do is hard, but it's important work. And we really appreciate everything that you do for us in protecting our freedoms, so thank you. I hope that you feel honored by our program today. Our students have put together a lot, including our staff. So once again, thank you, and I will come back on later because at this time I'm going to turn it over to our 5th grade students who will be commentators this morning for our program. And so in front of you today, we have Thomson Student Council President Daniel Garcia Archilla. We have Elias Pimentel, Bryn Dufresne, and Atula Charma, our 5th graders, who will be taking you through the program this morning. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, and please rise for the national anthem sung by Thomson grade 5 students Abel Arbor, Tyshawn Springer, Maya Cutler, Aaron John, Edie Conwell, Catherine Clark, Jane Smythe, Sammy Barad, Adriel Ramirez, Daniel O'Connor, Evelyn Desmond, and I. We are now proudly honored to welcome a special guest speaker, a veteran from our North Andover community, Ryan Blodgett from the U.S. Navy.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing. So, first of all, I want to mirror what the principal said, thanking everyone to be here, but I want every single one of you students to give yourself a huge round of applause. It's quite literally why all of us do what we do. So we thank you. So my name is Ryan Blodgett. I live here in North Andover with my daughter. Where is she? Amelia. Oh, I was going to call her out. So I am in the United States Navy, currently right now. I'm what's known as an ensign. That's an officer. It's the first rank of officer. I came from the enlisted ranks, and now this is what I do. I'm a reservist, so that means that once a month I do whatever the Navy needs, basically. That involves some long trips, going away, leaving Emmy to take care of the house, take care of the dogs, take care of her mom, do all that. In my civilian life, when I'm not doing Navy stuff, I'm a college professor at Endicott College, just a little bit north of here. So try to do a little bit of everything. One thing that I wanted to talk to you all about today is inspiration. I'm going to pull from a relatively famous speech from another naval officer. What does inspiration mean to you? Okay? What inspires you to be a good person? To do something different, to help your friends, to help your family. I don't know if the teachers told you this, but I'm going to give everyone here homework today. Okay? Teachers, it's going to be up to you to enforce this. So you're all going to be given an assignment today. It is due 20 years from now. Okay, so let's say November 8th, 2044. What I want every single one of you here to do today is begin to think of who and what has inspired you to this day. And then over the next 20 years, your assignment is to inspire two people. Okay? Inspire two people in your life. It can be your siblings, it can be your parents, it can be your friends, it can be whomever. But I want you to inspire someone. When the time comes that they let you know that they were inspired by you, all I want you to do is say, thank you, pay it forward. I want you to inspire two more people. So if you inspire two people, then those two people inspire two more people. In a very short amount of time, we're going to have a much better world for everyone. Everyone is going to have an approach to everything in their life of pulling people up, making them be good people, and focusing on the good in the world. Okay? So does everyone understand that assignment? Yes. Okay. I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to say 3 people. But you got a head start on it. Because every single one of you here has inspired me. So you're already like, let's say, 1/3 of the way done with that assignment. So know that every one of you sitting here today has inspired me to be better, to do better, whether it's for family, whether it's for my unit, whether it's for my students. So I want to thank you. So I wanted to keep my speaking part brief. One of my favorite things in the world is questions. So I would definitely like to open it up to anyone here. If they have any questions, please, by all means, ask away. Question right there? Or just wait for the question? Sir. Anyone over here? Yeah. So the question was, what's it like being in the Navy? Is it tough? Yes. Yes and no. So there are several components that are very tough. I mean, there's the physical stuff, a lot of running, a lot of jumping, a lot of lifting. But then there is also, the mental component. There's a lot of time where you're away from your family. There's a lot of time where it's really quiet. So that is where you rely on your friends, on your team. You pull each other up. You help each other get through not just those physical tough things, but also those mental tough things. USS Constitution. So, does anyone else know what the USS Constitution is? So it's one of the oldest ships in the Navy. It's still commissioned to this day. It's in Boston. Anyone can go. Anyone can check it out. They can go on tours. But definitely worth seeing. A quick little story. This time last year, when I did become an officer, we were able to do the ceremony on board the USS Constitution. It was a lot of fun. I got to fire the cannon. So definitely recommend checking out the USS Constitution. Yeah. Is it hard doing my job? Yes, so I have a couple of different jobs I've had in the Navy. So a few years back, when I started in the Navy, I was Naval Security Forces. So we were in charge of a lot of like base security, rapid response type things. That had a pretty difficult component to it. What I do now is more office work, I guess you could say, which I find almost a little more difficult, sitting behind a desk sometimes, but every community within every one of the branches definitely has, difficult components. But again, I go back to that first question there. You rely on your team. You work with all of your friends, with your classmates, with whomever, and it'll make whatever task you have undertaken. That makes sense. See you in the back there. Yeah.
How is it being a U.S. Navy reservist, and what are some of the jobs that you do as a
Great question. Thank you. So the question was, what's it like being a Navy reservist, and what are some of the jobs that you do? So again, it's kind of changed over the last couple of years. 2 years ago, I think it was this time exactly, where I got the call. Hey, there's a big mission going on. It's up in New Hampshire. It's going to be about 35 days, so you have to go and do that. So it was a lot of long hours, a lot of very long nights. So that was, protecting some assets, kind of whatever the Navy needed. Now it's a little bit different. As an officer, it's kind of more, a few days here, a few days there, managing the day-to-day of a lot of other sailors and Marines, managing. Okay, now who's going to go there? Who's going to go to this place? So it brings a different component to it. You got to think a little bit more than act a little bit, but it's definitely challenging at every level. But just think through it, rely on your team. Everything's good. That's a very good question. I was much older when I joined. It's been something I've wanted to do for my whole life. An opportunity arose. I took that chance, that opportunity. So I was 35 when I went in, and so I went away, went to boot camp. I had to work out before I got there. A lot, obviously, to get back to where I needed to be. So it was supposed to be about 2 months that I was going to be away from training. But in 2019, 2020, something pretty crazy happened in the world. Everything was shut down because of COVID. So that 2 months that I was supposed to be away in training turned into 6, 7 months being away in training. So I had to get a picture of Pammy every single day, saying hi. So that kind of helped pull me through a little bit. But I was 35, 36 years old when I joined. It's never too late. Never too late. Yeah. How old am I now? 41 years old. 41 years young. 41. What's that? Yes, that's a great question. How did I get in this job? So, anyone in this country is able to serve. And I strongly recommend, whomever wants to look into it, please look into it. So, when I went in, you take a test, they see what, where your strengths are, and then you kind of pick which job you want to go with. With the college degrees I had, and then was given the opportunity to, become an officer. The more you do, the more you can do, if that makes sense. So it just opens a lot more doors for you.
How many jobs do you have to do?
7, a lot of jobs. So within, I think I can speak for all the branches here, you'll have your very specific job, with whatever it may be, logistics, security, infantry, but if there is something that needs to get done, everyone has to do it. So we've all had to clean, we've all had to paint, all of us had to sweep them up. That's kind of goes with every one of the branches, but you get your specialty, and then you just help with whatever needs to be done. Everyone gets hands on it, and whatever job it is gets done like that. Yeah.
You can handle this.
How much of the war have you won? Like how many like wars have you won?
Me, personally?
That you've been in.
So luckily I have not been in like a war in, forward theater. The United States, we do have a very good track record, and that just comes from good leadership. Okay, ensuring that everyone is safe, ensuring that everyone is where they need to be, and the best way to win one is to not even really be in one. And that's what we do. That's what we try to do to each other. Right in the middle of it,
What was your job before you joined the Navy?
yeah. Was my job before I joined the Navy, so I've been a teacher for about 15 years now. I've taught high school level, the college level, and then I've spent most of my career before that in food and beverage, managing restaurants, things like that. So, I was talking to my buddy over here earlier. I get bored easily, so I like to do a lot of different things. Yeah.
How long have you been in the Navy?
I've been in about 6 years now. About 6 years now, yeah. And that.
Have you ever been near or in an active combat zone?
I have been near quite a few, yes. Actively in one, I have not. But it's the potential, that danger is always there, depending upon what's going on. So that's what we always train for. We move to the side of the room here. Yeah. So, the question was why the Navy, why I want to be in the Navy. I have several family members before me, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, great-grandmothers, even, who have served across all branches, but predominantly Navy and Marines were represented in my family. And because I was a little bit older, as was stated when I joined, I've had more opportunity and more things I could do with the Navy. Yeah. What's that? I can't hear you. Yes, the Navy. Mr. Neary, yes.
What's the best advice you can give these kids about what they can do right now when they're in school to kind of help make your job a little easier?
So the best thing that all of you can do right now is a couple different things. First of all, listen to your teachers, okay? Everything that they tell you has a purpose. That is very similar to what we do. A lot of times, some things may seem not fair, may seem just like a lot of extra work, but everything has a purpose. That will help you begin to, understand the big picture. Make yourself a better person so that down the road, you can help your friends, your family, and make them better. So it goes back to that inspiration we were talking about. Yes, right there. Why did I join? It was something I always wanted to do. I found myself in a place where I could, and then, again, looking down at Emmy, I said, that's definitely something worth protecting. That's definitely something worth, fighting for. You begin to think of things that are important to you and what you can do to protect them, to ensure they get the best life possible. I do. I like working in the Navy quite a bit. Definitely has some ups and downs. It can be pretty difficult at times. But overall, it goes back to that inspiration, passion, something that you find that you really like. If you like what you do, it doesn't even feel like work. It's just something that comes naturally and you enjoy doing. Yeah, right. One thing I don't like about the Navy Not always, but sometimes the food can be a little on the best sometimes. But that's about it. I mean, you know, you can take any bad situation, you make it a good situation. You know, depending on how you think about it, you get through, you say, all right, what did I learn from it? You know, let's take that negative and make it a positive. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry. So with the question was, do I ever have to go to different countries? So with my specific job right now, there's always a potential, but what I do is predominantly on this coast of this country, relatively in charge of other people that are going to different countries. So not yet, but I mean, that's always a potential. How many tests do we have to do? So how many tests do I have to do this job? That's a pretty good question. So it's all dependent upon whatever community you want to go into, but there's constantly testing to make sure you're doing a good job and that you're the right person for the job. But it's there's always another test, another standard, another something that you have to be. And the Patriots teacher. Yeah.
Do you have anybody else that you know is in any of the branches or anything?
Yes, that's actually a good question. So I have a large friend group made up of almost all the other branches. We try to get together at least once a month. We go to Patriots games together a lot. And we always kind of joke with each other, other branches, we'll mess with the other branches. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we all are doing it for the same purpose, relatively the same purpose, and the same thing. So I have several friends across several branches, and we have a lot of jokes from each other. In the back, yeah, red teacher.
Have you ever been inside a submarine?
Yes, I have been inside a submarine. So in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, one of the commands that I was at, one of my jobs was protecting some submarines. The submarine's not really made for guys my size, let's say. They're very small, but they are extremely, like the modern ones are extremely comfortable. They're made, with the sailors in mind. No space is really wasted, but they're pretty impressive. Yeah.
What other jobs did you do besides the U.S. Navy?
I'm sorry, what other jobs?
What other jobs did you do besides the U.S. Navy?
So besides the U.S. Navy, I teach full-time at a college close to here. I've worked in several restaurants, management positions, things like that. But I try to keep things interesting. If I want to be in a different branch, I might not want to admit it, with some of the other guys here. Every branch is a good branch, if you ask me. They all have, much different jobs, much different things that you can take from them. When I was much younger, I always wanted to be in the Marines because my grandfather at the time was telling me every day that that's what I should be doing. But every branch is a good branch. Every branch has, potential opportunities for people. Yeah. So the longest I've ever had to go away was, right now, it's about 7 months, is when I was, stuck between different commands. It was during COVID. Everything was on lockdown. We weren't really able to move around that much. We just kind of were stuck doing our training, sitting around.
Do you have any friends who died?
Well, no, I mean, that's a valid question. That's a very fair question. It is, something, a byproduct of anything that can happen here. Yes, I have known some people that unfortunately, that has happened to, but that's where you rely, again, on your team, on your group, on your friends, for everyone. All right, last question. So, let's see, David. Right there in the middle, yes. Oh, I'm sorry, couldn't have.
So, what did you have to do to enter?
Okay, yeah, no, that's a great question. So what I have to do to enter, there's a physical test that, they want to make sure you're able to execute whatever physical components are needed. But then there also is a written test, all right? What they do with a lot of these written tests is establish, what you're good at, where can we put you? The better you do on the test, the more jobs are available to you, and there are, literally hundreds of jobs that you can have. So you test into it, and then you find that job that you want to have, and then you're continually tested within that job, and you can do more and more. Thank you all so much. This was great. This was a lot of fun for me. Again, give yourself a huge round of applause. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Blodgett. Next, Thompson's grade 2 students will recite a Veterans Day poem written by Mrs. Howell. Thank you, grade 2. Next up, Zoe Martinez will read the poem titled In Flanders Field.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing. Fly scars heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie. In Flanders fields, take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders field. Our fourth grade students, Andrew Rule, Eleanor Thomson, Anne-Lee Diaz, Peter Hoy, Louis Southgate, Alexis Brown, Nolan Yazell, Gillian Wilson, Nikki Zhang, and Michelle Patel will now perform a retelling of Margaret Peace Raven's book, America's White Table. Every day in military dining halls everywhere in the world, there is a special table covered with white tablecloth to honor those soldiers who are missing in action or prisoners of war. Fourth graders would like to share that custom with you today. We use a small table to show one soldier's lonely battle against many enemies.
We place a white cloth to honor a soldier's pure heart when he answers his country's call to duty.
We place 11 slices on the plate to show a captive of the soldier's bitter fate. And salt on the plate or sends the tears of families waiting for a loved one's return. We push in an empty chair for the missing soldiers who are not here. We place down a black napkin for the sorrow of captivity.
We turn over a glass for the meal that won't be eaten. We place a white candle for peace, which we all hope for.
Finally, a red rose and a vase tied with a red ribbon for the hope that all of our missing will return someday. This is America's White Table. We will now have a special rendition of God Bless America performed by Thomson Grade 5 singers under the direction of Miss McDougall and other 5th grade volunteers who've been practicing.
students in grades 1 to 5 were asked to write an essay, poem, or create an art piece that celebrates veterans from our community. Their tribute to our veterans was truly amazing. The artwork and writing are displayed in the case outside the cafeteria. Please take some time to admire this wonderful work. One student was selected to share their work with you. From grade 4, please give it up for Reese Hart.
Veterans fight for our country. They are courageous, selfless, and so much more. We thank you so very much for all that you do. They risk their lives to save our country. They don't do it for a reward. They do it for freedom. We are very lucky to have such amazing veterans that keep our country safe. We all love our country, so it's important that we celebrate veterans that serve now and who did serve. The flag represents our country. There are 50 stars to represent the 50 states and 13 stripes to represent the 13 original colonies. Red stripes on the flag represent valor and bravery. White represents purity and innocence. The blue represents justice. The first American flag was created by Betsy. The American flag represents America, in which we all live in. If you are in the Marines, Navy, Coast Guard, Army, Air Force, and Space Force, we appreciate all that you do and happy Veterans Day.
Who is a veteran? A veteran is someone who has served in the United States military, including the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard during time of war or peace. Respecting our veterans. We are all here today thanks to the many soldiers who have fought long battles in dangerous conditions while far from home to make our country free and safe.
Honoring our veterans. All across America, veterans are honored in many ways. We honor local veterans with parades or celebrations such as this. The town of North Andover has honored Albert E. Thomson, a World War I Army veteran, by building this elementary school as a tribute.
Why it's important to say thank you. Veterans are always working to keep us safe every day, every night, and even holidays. They are away from their families to protect us.
We will now have a presentation of our Thomson family veterans.
of the 5 ballads of the U.S. Armed Forces. We ask all veterans to stand when your ballad is sung. United States Army. United States Navy. United States Coast Guard. United States Air Force. United States Marine. Please rise for taps. Performed by the North Andover High School Band. Please be respectful and also please come back to the
We will now have a performance of You're a Grand Old Flag by the entire school.
Wait, stop talking.
Boys and girls, thank you. You're a wonderful audience today, and thank you to Officer Blodgett for speaking to us today. He talked a lot about teamwork, inspiration, working together. Those are all things we talk about here at Thomson School all the time. Those are really important messages, and I don't know if I'll still be here, but if I am, you can come back and tell me if you completed that homework years from now. So before we go any further, I would like our school nurse, Miss O'Neill, to come up and join me up front for a moment. So, boys and girls, this program would not be what it is today without the support of Miss O'Neill, our beloved school nurse through the years. She was the first one to get this program going. She feels very passionately about it. She cares a lot about veterans, and that is evidenced through our wonderful program that we have every year at Thomson School. Next month, Miss O'Neill will officially be retiring. I'm not going to. And we will certainly miss her a lot. But we just wanted to thank her on behalf of the community and our school for all her dedication and commitment to the program through the years. And I think our wonderful Evelyn Desmond has something for you. I would be remiss if I didn't also thank the rest of the Thomson staff for all their support with our program. I especially want to thank Ms. Bebo for giving up some time to help our America's White Table students. I want to thank Ms. Tybert, who's been also trying to teach 4th grade and put together the PowerPoint program and all the numerous emails that we got with pictures. You can see we are well represented in the Thomson community with veterans. I want to thank Ms. McDougall, our wonderful music teacher who's been working with the kids for several days and weeks to get them prepared. Boys and girls, I don't know if I've said this before, but I think you all sounded the best I've ever heard this year. So, it was wonderful. And before we thank our veterans, because they are the most important, can we give it up for our 4 students up here? Well, they did way better than I could have ever done up here the whole time. They did a great job. And Did anybody think they were nervous? They didn't even look nervous up here today. So thank you to our Cub Scouts and the band. Thank you to all our guests, and especially thank you to our veterans. Your thanks and our gratitude are deserved every day of the year while we celebrate those who have served past and present on November 11th every year in the United States. We certainly thank you for your service each and every year. So thank you for coming this morning. There are, if you would like to stay, we do have refreshments in the cafeteria if you want to hang around for a little bit before you leave today. Boys and girls, thank you. You are a great audience today, but now it's back to work. This is like, yep, I got it, Mr. Raymond, I'm ready to go. Listen, first grade, you're going to lunch in an hour, so it's not a big deal. All right, so we will start up front, and we'll make our way back with the students. Okay, thank you.